Welcome back. In Benue State, the issues of security are on the front burner. The governor, Samuel Otom, has asked that the man responsible for the recent violence in Buruku and Taraka local government area be arrested. But before we continue, we'd like to remind you that all our top stories can be found on our website. That's channelstv.com and on youtube.com/channelsweb. Visit m.channelstv.com to view us live on your mobile device. You can also download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS, and Windows phones from their respective stores. We'd also like to tell you to please interact with the Eyewitness feature in the Channels TV app. If you have pictures or videos you'd like to share with us, tap the app on your device, swipe to reveal the Eyewitness menu, and follow the instructions. To the north-central region of the country, issues of security, the Benue State government has ordered the leadership of the Meita Allah Cattle Breeders Association to produce the man responsible for Sunday's killings in Buruku and Taraka local government areas. Governor Samuel Otom gave the directive at an emergency meeting with Fulani herdsmen and Tiv farmers from the affected areas. Briefing the governor on the situation, the secretary of the association, Garus Gololo, says the suspect who caused the fresh violence threatened to create problems after they asked him to remove his sick animals from the grazing areas to prevent a spread of disease.
Governor Samuel Otom arriving at the government house in Makadi, the Benue State capital. He is here for an emergency meeting with herdsmen and Tiv farmers following fresh violence that has left many dead. On the governor's request, the Secretary General of the Meita Cattle Breeders Association gives a background on what led to the new crisis.
After it happened, that person was asked to vacate from that place, because normally what we do, they give you the area where to graze so that you cannot join the order to be affected. So now, when they asked him to go back, the next thing he said he's going to cause confusion, which he did. We will summon a meeting and we will warn them there will be no attack of anything. And anybody you want to attack, we will make sure we will use police to arrest him. If there is no police, the excellency will apply for the soldier to make sure they arrest him and disarm.
Chairman of Buruku local government, who spoke on the side of the Tiv community, says intolerance is the major reason for the frequent clashes.
If cows from the Fulanis entered the farm and there was complaint, either the boys will come after the Fulani herdsmen or the Fulani herdsmen will react. Those have been the issues.
Having listened to both sides, Governor Otom has only one request.
Wherever that man is, whatever elders that are shielding him, we must bring that man must be brought to book.
The communal clashes have damaged a lot of infrastructure in the state, with up to 400 schools set to be destroyed. In a separate meeting with teachers, Governor Otom gave them an assurance that the schools will be reconstructed.
We will renovate and furnish at least 400 primary schools across the state and build new classrooms. Primary schools pupils will no longer take lessons sitting on the floor.
The state government has also earmarked a 7.6 billion naira education intervention fund to address any problem in the sector. But ultimately, the governor is seeking an urgent end to this problem so everyone can continue to live in peace and harmony.
To the south-south region of the country, but staying with security concerns, traditional rulers in the Niger Delta have described and decried the resurgence of violence, destruction of oil pipelines, and kidnappings of their members. The traditional rulers made their position known at the end of the group's emergency meeting in Port Harcourt, the River State capital, which focused on the state of the nation. The chairman of the group, while calling on the federal government to fast-track development of the region, pledged the group's support to the current anti-corruption fight of President Muhammadu Buhari.
Trump condemns in absolute term the resurgence of violence, destruction of oil pipelines, and kidnappings in the Niger Delta region, particularly kidnapping of traditional rulers both in the south-south and southeast of Nigeria. We think it's an anomaly and a trend that should be curbed. TrumpCon also condemns the cases of oil theft, which appears to be endemic to the Niger Delta region. This vice, we feel, is an ill wind that blows no one any good. TrumpCon supports the anti-corruption war, which has become one of the hallmarks of the President Muhammad Buhari's administration here in Nigeria. TrumpCon empathizes and sympathizes with our fellow Nigerians living in the northeastern part of Nigeria who have been unjustifiably ravaged by the despicable Boko Haram renegades. We enjoin all well-meaning and well-positioned Nigerians to support the effort of the federal government to rebuild, reconstruct, and rehabilitate the northeastern part of Nigeria.
Staying with the South-South, but this story holds special interest for all the regions in Nigeria. The Association of Medical Laboratory Scientists of Nigeria is calling on the federal government to focus more on neglected diseases such as spongiform encephalopathies and hemorrhagic fevers, following the rise of prevalence of psychiatric disorder and hemorrhagic fevers in Nigeria and the world over. According to the association, the challenge must not be undermined by government, medical professionals, and indeed all stakeholders. This formed part of resolutions reached by the association at the end of its 193rd meeting and annual public health lecture held in Calabar, the Cross River state capital.
With the outbreak of diseases such as the Lassa fever and Ebola virus, among other health challenges, medical laboratory scientists from different parts of the country gather to find lasting solutions to issues surrounding public health. They want the public to adhere strictly to preventive measures, especially in keeping personal and environmental hygiene.
NEC also noted the threat of neglected diseases, and we have identified spongiform encephalopathies. With over 170 million Nigerians, our diagnostic laboratory facilities are grossly inadequate to address emerging and re-emerging diseases.
Reading out the resolutions reached at the end of the meeting, the national president of the association, Toyosi Rahim, called on government at all levels to constitute active surveillance teams that will ensure compliance at all times.
The available statistics provide a broad overview of development in agriculture upon which we can make broad generalizations about its role in economic development and structural changes in Nigeria.
For any diagnosis, for any treatment, for even admission and discharge from hospitals to be done, the laboratory results become very, very important. In fact, about 60 to 70% of what happens in the hospital is dependent on the laboratory scientists.
If these resolutions are put to use, it will go a long way in rebranding the nation's health sector.
To the southeast, the Imo state government says it's set aside 5 billion naira to develop and transform rural communities in the state. Governor Rochester Okorocha made this known while inaugurating 305 government liaison officers representing each of the wards in the state, with the primary aim of driving the government's policies and programs in their respective wards.
A major problem faced by most rural communities in the country is underdevelopment. Lack of basic amenities, including infrastructure like good roads, pipe-borne water, and electricity, among others. This is what the Imo State government is trying to address and has put together liaison officers to help achieve the goal. The liaison officers are to initiate feasible projects that will impact on the lives of the people and bring relief to the rural communities.
We are here gathered to restructure the entire Imo State in order to develop the resources of our land.
leaders and as worthy ambassadors and sons and daughters of this great land to join this crusade of to move Imo State forward.
The Deputy Governor, who is also among the liaison officers, promises that the team will ensure the objectives are achieved.
If at the level of the Deputy Governor, the Speaker, and so many senior government officials can represent their community, that means this is a serious deal. And now we must go back to our community and take charge. This is not, we have done G-Road before, this is a new refined G-Road with a new emphasis. And I want to assure His Excellency that this man of impeccable credentials that you have chosen will not let you down.
The communities are waiting to see if words will match action. Action that will bring the much-needed development for the people.
You're watching News Across Nigeria, where we keep you updated on what's happening across the 36 states of the Nigerian Federation. Coming up, the people of Ifaki-Ekiti are getting a boost as the governor, Ayodele Fayose, is talking about getting more support for them from his administration.